The Earth is the only planet in our solar system that supports life. The Earth is the only planet in our solar system which supports life. Which of these two sentences is correct? Should you use that or which? They both sound okay, and the truth is, in everyday language, people use either one. But technically, it's that. To see why, you'll need to understand restrictive relative clauses. A restrictive relative clause contains defining, essential, restrictive information about the noun that comes before it. If you take the clause out, you'll change the meaning of the sentence. Let's try it. The Earth is the only planet in our solar system that supports life. The Earth is the only planet in our solar system. You can see that by taking out the clause that supports life, we change the meaning of the sentence completely. And the rule of thumb is, restrictive relative clauses use that. Non-restrictive relative clauses use which. Non-restrictive relative clauses can actually start with which, whose, who, or whom, but not with that. You use whose, who, or whom when referring to people, and you use which for everything else. Non-restrictive clauses contain information that can be taken out without changing the meaning of the sentence. Another way to tell it's a non-restrictive relative clause is that it is separated from the rest of the sentence by a comma. For example, the Earth, which is the third planet from the Sun, supports life. Here you can see that the non-restrictive relative clause adds information, sort of like an aside, without changing the meaning of the sentence. Even if you take it out, the main sentence means the same thing. The Earth supports life. Could you use that in the original sentence instead of which? No. You cannot start a non-restrictive relative clause with that. Listen to how it sounds. The Earth, that is the third planet from the Sun, supports life. See? No good. If you're still not sure whether to use that or which, try putting the clause in parentheses. If it works, use which. If it doesn't, use that. I served the cakes that I baked for dessert. If we change that to which and put the relative clause in parentheses, it looks a little funny. I served the cakes which I baked for dessert. That little pause for the parenthetical phrase seems odd. The sentence looks and sounds funny because in this example, that I baked is a restrictive relative clause. It restricts which cakes we are talking about. I didn't serve every cake. I served the ones that I baked. Here's a sentence that uses a non-restrictive relative clause. The chocolate cake, which was very sweet, was my father's favorite. The chocolate cake, which was very sweet, was my father's favorite. There already was a little pause from the commas. That's a clue that this clause is extra information that can be removed from the sentence without really changing the message. Now let's test ourselves. Which word would you use in the following sentences? That or which? The letter that you wrote to my sister was delivered yesterday. The letter which you wrote to my sister was delivered yesterday. We would use that because we're not talking about all the letters, just the one you wrote to my sister. The letter that was 3 pages long made her very happy. The letter which was 3 pages long made her very happy. Here we use which. It's extra information that it was 3 pages long. You can take that out and still have the most important part, that it made her happy.